Ladies and gentlemen, in any relationship, mutual respect and shared values form the foundation of a lasting and meaningful bond. Within the framework of Stoic philosophy, these principles become even more vital, shaping a partnership that is not just about companionship, but about mutual growth, wisdom, and moral integrity. A marriage grounded in Stoic ideals is not one of fleeting passion or superficial harmony, but of deep-seated respect that transcends life's inevitable trials. When two individuals enter into such a union, they do so with an understanding that their partnership is not solely for personal happiness, but for the pursuit of virtue and a life lived in accordance with reason. Respect in a Stoic marriage does not stem from mere social obligation or fleeting admiration, but from an acknowledgement of the other person's intrinsic worth and moral character. In the context of Stoic thought, true respect is not conditional upon external success, beauty, or status. Rather, it arises from recognizing the virtues that the other person cultivates. This respect is based on an appreciation of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, qualities that Stoics regard as the highest goods. It is through this lens that two partners see each other, not as objects of desire or convenience, but as fellow travelers on the path toward a life well lived. The concept of shared values plays a crucial role in maintaining harmony within the marriage. Stoicism teaches that external events are beyond our control, but our responses to them are entirely within our power. This philosophy, when embraced by both partners, creates an environment where blame and resentment have no place. Instead of reacting impulsively or allowing emotions to dictate the course of their relationship, the couple operates from a place of rationality and mutual understanding. They do not expect perfection from each other, but rather a commitment to continuous improvement, a striving toward virtue that is at the heart of Stoic thought. A marriage built on shared Stoic principles means that both individuals hold similar priorities in life. They do not seek material wealth, social status, or fleeting pleasures as their primary goals. Instead, they focus on inner tranquility, wisdom, and the fulfillment of their duties. This alignment of values allows them to move through life with a sense of purpose that is larger than themselves. Even in moments of hardship, they do not turn against each other, but rather lean into their shared philosophy, finding strength in their common understanding of life's impermanence and the need for resilience. One of the most significant ways mutual respect manifests in a Stoic marriage is through open and honest communication. Stoicism does not encourage suppressing emotions, but rather understanding them and responding to them with reason. In this kind of relationship, discussions are not driven by impulsivity or the need to prove oneself right. Instead, disagreements are approached with a calm demeanor, where each partner listens intently and responds thoughtfully. They do not seek to win arguments, but to reach a clearer understanding, both of the issue at hand and of each other. Their words are measured, their emotions tempered, and their aim is always the pursuit of truth rather than personal victory. In such a marriage, the partners also recognize that respect is demonstrated not just in words, but in actions. They do not make empty promises or speak with flattery. Instead, they show their regard for each other through consistency, integrity, and reliability. When one commits to something, they follow through, not out of fear of disappointing the other, but because their word holds weight. They honor their commitments, both small and significant, as a reflection of their character. This reliability fosters an unshakable trust, which, in turn, strengthens the foundation of their relationship. Another crucial aspect of respect in a Stoic marriage is the ability to accept the other person's individuality. While the couple may share fundamental values, they understand that differences in personality, interests, and approaches to life will always exist. However, rather than viewing these differences as sources of conflict, they see them as opportunities for growth. The Stoic mindset encourages patience and the acceptance of others as they are, rather than trying to mold them into an idealized version. This means that neither partner seeks to control the other. They do not impose their will, nor do they demand change for selfish reasons. Instead, they support each other's journey towards self-improvement, offering guidance and encouragement, but never coercion. The respect they hold for one another also extends to their handling of difficult situations. In a Stoic marriage, hardship is not seen as an unfair burden, but as an inevitable part of life. When faced with illness, financial troubles, or personal loss, The couple does not crumble under the weight of adversity. Instead, they approach these challenges with composure, supporting each other with wisdom and strength. Their shared values remind them that suffering is temporary, that external misfortunes do not define them, and that their greatest power lies in how they choose to respond. In moments of crisis, their respect for each other's resilience and virtue deepens, reinforcing the strength of their bond. Furthermore, a Stoic marriage is free from excessive dependence. Each partner values the other deeply, but they do not cling to them in a way that compromises their individual sense of self. They do not demand constant affirmation or rely on their spouse for validation. Instead, they understand that true contentment comes from within. They appreciate and cherish their partner, not out of fear of loneliness or insecurity, but out of genuine admiration and love. Their relationship is one of interdependence rather than dependence, where each person stands strong on their own, yet chooses to walk alongside the other. Ultimately, mutual respect and shared values in a Stoic marriage create a relationship that is not only enduring, but profoundly fulfilling. It is a partnership that is not shaken by external turmoil, nor is it based on fleeting emotions. It is a bond forged through reason, strengthened by virtue, and sustained by a shared commitment to living a meaningful life. Such a marriage is not simply about coexisting. It is about growing together, challenging each other to be better, and finding harmony in the pursuit of wisdom. In this way, the couple not only builds a lasting union, but also embodies the very essence of what it means to live with dignity, purpose, and integrity. Emotional resilience is one of the most critical elements in a lasting and fulfilling marriage, especially when guided by Stoic principles. Life is full of uncertainties, difficulties, and unexpected trials, and a marriage that lacks emotional resilience is vulnerable to the pressures of external circumstances. Stoicism teaches that individuals cannot control what happens around them, but they can control their response to those events. When both partners cultivate emotional resilience, their relationship becomes a sanctuary of strength, wisdom, and stability, rather than a battleground of unchecked emotions and reactivity. At the heart of emotional resilience is the ability to endure hardship without being consumed by it. In any marriage, there will be moments of disappointment, conflict, and sorrow. Whether it is the loss of a loved one, financial difficulties, personal failures, or health challenges, life inevitably tests the endurance of a relationship. A Stoic approach to these trials does not involve denying pain or pretending that difficulties do not exist. Instead, it teaches that suffering is an inherent part of the human experience, and by accepting this reality with grace and fortitude, individuals can face adversity without allowing it to erode the foundations of their marriage. A key component of emotional resilience is the ability to maintain inner tranquility in the face of external chaos. In a Stoic marriage, neither partner expects life to be free of struggle. They understand that external events are beyond their control, but their reactions to those events remain entirely within their power. This mindset allows them to navigate hardships without losing their sense of perspective. When faced with a stressful situation, they do not lash out, blame, or sink into despair. Instead, they pause, reflect, and respond with wisdom. They remind themselves that emotions, while natural, must be tempered by reason in order to be productive. This emotional stability extends to the way partners handle conflict within the marriage itself. No relationship is without disagreements, but a Stoic marriage is marked by the ability to engage in conflict without allowing it to spiral into bitterness or resentment. When disagreements arise, the emotionally resilient couple does not allow anger to dictate their words or actions. They do not seek to dominate the other person or win the argument at the expense of harmony. Instead, they approach disagreements with the intention of finding clarity and understanding. They recognize that harsh words spoken in anger often do more damage than the original issue itself. By maintaining composure and responding with patience, they create a space where communication is productive rather than destructive. Emotional resilience also means resisting the pull of fleeting emotions, whether they are negative or positive. Stoicism teaches that it is unwise to become overly attached to feelings of joy, just as it is unwise to be overwhelmed by sadness. In a marriage, this translates into a steady, grounded approach to love. The couple does not base the strength of their relationship on temporary highs or moments of passion alone. Instead, they cultivate a love that is stable, enduring, and not easily shaken by life's fluctuations. This does not mean they do not experience deep affection or joy in each other's company, but they do not allow their relationship to be dictated by emotion alone. Their love is rooted in shared values, mutual respect, and a steadfast commitment to one another, regardless of circumstances. Another essential aspect of emotional resilience in a Stoic marriage is the ability to let go of grievances. Holding on to resentment, dwelling on past wrongs, or replaying old arguments in one's mind only serves to poison the relationship. A resilient couple understands that mistakes will be made, that both partners will have moments of weakness, and that perfection is unattainable. Rather than dwelling on what cannot be changed, they focus on moving forward with wisdom and understanding. Forgiveness, in this context, is not an act of ignoring wrongdoing, but rather an acknowledgement that clinging to anger only serves to harm oneself. They recognize that it is far more productive to learn from mistakes than to remain trapped in them. One of the greatest tests of emotional resilience in a marriage is the way partners handle loss and suffering together. Whether it is personal grief, professional setbacks, or the natural struggles of aging, every couple will face moments that test their strength. In a Stoic marriage, such moments are not seen as unfair burdens, but as opportunities to deepen one's character and commitment. The couple understands that suffering is universal, and rather than retreating into isolation or despair, they turn to each other for support, offering strength without pity and comfort without indulgence. They do not collapse under the weight of sorrow. Instead, they use hardship as a means to grow stronger together. The practice of gratitude also plays a crucial role in emotional resilience. A Stoic couple does not take their relationship for granted, nor do they assume that happiness is owed to them. They cultivate a mindset of appreciation for what they have, rather than longing for what they lack. This gratitude allows them to remain grounded, even in difficult times, because they recognize that true contentment comes not from external circumstances, but from within. They focus on the present moment, rather than constantly worrying about an uncertain future or longing for an idealized past. This perspective prevents unnecessary suffering and allows them to fully experience and appreciate the life they share. Ultimately, emotional resilience is what allows a marriage to endure over time. It is what enables a couple to face life's inevitable challenges without being broken by them. It is the ability to remain steady in a world that is unpredictable, to find strength in one another without becoming dependent, and to cultivate a love that is not dictated by fleeting emotions, but by unwavering commitment and wisdom. In this way, a Stoic marriage becomes not just a relationship between two people, but a testament to the power of virtue, reason, and enduring strength. Commitment to duty is one of the central pillars of a Stoic marriage, providing stability, purpose, and a deep sense of meaning. In a world where relationships are often tested by external circumstances, personal struggles, and shifting emotions, duty serves as an unshakable foundation that keeps a couple aligned with their higher purpose. Stoicism teaches that individuals are responsible for fulfilling their roles with integrity, regardless of how they feel in the moment. In the context of marriage, this means prioritizing responsibility over fleeting desires, honoring commitments even when challenges arise, and recognizing that true fulfillment comes not from selfish pursuits, but from living in accordance with virtue. At the core of this commitment is the understanding that marriage is not simply about personal happiness or pleasure, but about a shared duty to support, uplift, and guide one another. Love in its highest form is not merely a feeling, but a choice that must be reaffirmed each day through action, patience, and discipline. In a Stoic marriage, partners do not abandon their responsibilities simply because emotions waver. They recognize that moods change, passions rise and fall, and external circumstances are unpredictable, but their duty to one another remains constant. This perspective fosters a relationship that is not only resilient but also deeply fulfilling, as it is built on something far greater than momentary satisfaction. One of the greatest tests of duty in marriage comes during times of adversity. When external pressures mount, whether in the form of financial struggles, illness, personal failures, or loss, less committed relationships may falter. However, in a Stoic partnership, difficulty is not seen as a reason to retreat from one's obligations, but as an opportunity to demonstrate strength and resolve. A husband or wife who is committed to duty does not withdraw in times of hardship, but rather leans into their role with even greater conviction. They provide stability when the world feels uncertain, strength when their partner feels weak, and wisdom when emotions cloud judgment. This sense of duty ensures that the relationship remains steadfast even in the face of suffering, allowing both individuals to emerge stronger together. Commitment to duty in marriage also requires self-discipline and self-sacrifice. Stoicism teaches that true virtue is not found in indulgence, but in restraint, and this principle is particularly relevant in relationships. A Stoic spouse does not prioritize personal desires at the expense of their partner's well-being. Rather, they exercise self-restraint to ensure that their actions contribute to the health of the marriage. This means choosing patience over irritation, understanding over judgment, and loyalty over temptation. It means resisting the urge to act on impulse and instead making decisions that reflect wisdom and long-term thinking. In this way, duty becomes an active practice, one that demands continuous effort but yields deep and lasting rewards. Another crucial aspect of duty in marriage is the fulfillment of one's role within the partnership. While Stoicism acknowledges that each individual has their own journey, it also emphasizes the importance of serving the greater whole. In marriage, this means recognizing that both partners have responsibilities not only to themselves, but also to each other, to their family, and to the larger community. A Stoic couple does not view marriage as a mere contract between two people, but as a sacred commitment to something greater than themselves. They understand that their union has the power to shape the lives of those around them, children, friends, and even society as a whole. This awareness strengthens their resolve to uphold their duties with honor and integrity. A commitment to duty also requires a mindset of perseverance. Stoicism teaches that nothing of true value comes easily, and this applies to relationships as well. A strong marriage is not built overnight, nor is it sustained by mere affection alone. It requires effort, patience, and an unwavering dedication to growth. A Stoic couple does not shy away from the work required to maintain their bond. They embrace it as an essential part of their journey. They do not abandon their responsibilities when circumstances become difficult, nor do they allow minor disagreements to erode their foundation. Instead, they see every challenge as an opportunity to deepen their commitment and refine their character. Duty in marriage is also closely tied to the practice of gratitude. A Stoic understands that no relationship should be taken for granted. They recognize that every day spent with their partner is a gift, and they honor this gift by fulfilling their responsibilities with sincerity and devotion. This perspective fosters a deep appreciation for one another, reducing the likelihood of resentment or complacency. A husband or wife who is committed to duty does not neglect the small acts of kindness that sustain a relationship. They express gratitude, show affection, and acknowledge their partner's efforts, knowing that these gestures strengthen the foundation of their union. Ultimately, commitment to duty transforms a marriage into something far greater than a mere partnership. It becomes a shared pursuit of virtue, a testament to the power of resilience, and a reflection of one's deepest values. Through duty, love is elevated from a fleeting emotion to an enduring practice, one that is not swayed by external circumstances, but is instead rooted in integrity, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to the greater good. Self-restraint and moderation are essential virtues in a Stoic marriage, forming the foundation for a relationship built on stability, respect, and harmony. In a world where emotions can often drive impulsive decisions, where desires can lead to excess, and where external circumstances can disrupt inner peace, these two principles serve as guiding forces that keep a couple grounded. Stoicism teaches that happiness does not come from indulging in every pleasure or reacting to every emotion, but from mastering oneself. In a marriage, this mastery translates into patience, discipline, and the ability to navigate challenges without being consumed by anger, jealousy, or excessive passion. At the heart of self-control is the ability to govern one's emotions and reactions. In any relationship, disagreements and conflicts are inevitable, However, a Stoic couple does not allow these moments of tension to dictate the course of their relationship. They do not lash out in anger, say words they will later regret, or allow temporary frustrations to create lasting damage. Instead, they practice restraint, recognizing that emotions are fleeting and that wisdom lies in responding rather than reacting. This ability to pause, reflect, and choose a measured response fosters an atmosphere of respect and understanding, preventing small issues from escalating into major conflicts. Moderation, closely tied to self-control, is the practice of avoiding excess in all aspects of life. In a marriage, this means maintaining balance, not allowing emotions to become overwhelming, not letting material desires dictate happiness, and not becoming overly dependent on one another for validation. Love, in its healthiest form, is not about consuming or possessing, but about appreciating and sustaining. A relationship that is governed by moderation is one that avoids the extremes of obsession or neglect. It is neither overly indulgent nor excessively restrictive, but exists in a state of steady, sustainable growth. One of the most common areas where self-control is tested in a marriage is in communication. Words have immense power. They can heal or wound, build up or tear down. A Stoic marriage is characterized by thoughtful speech, where partners choose their words carefully rather than speaking impulsively. They do not insult or belittle in the heat of the moment, nor do they withhold kindness and appreciation. They understand that controlling one's tongue is a sign of wisdom, and that true strength is demonstrated not through volume or aggression, but through clarity and purpose. They listen as much as they speak, ensuring that discussions are productive rather than destructive. Self-control also plays a crucial role in resisting harmful temptations. In any relationship, there will be moments when external attractions or distractions test one's commitment. Whether it is the temptation of infidelity, the lure of selfish pursuits, or the urge to prioritize personal desires over the well-being of the marriage, self-discipline is what ensures that virtue prevails. A Stoic partner does not act on impulse or fleeting pleasure, but considers the long-term consequences of their actions. They remain steadfast in their commitment, knowing that true fulfillment comes not from indulging every desire, but from remaining loyal to the principles that define their character. Moderation is equally important when it comes to expectations. Unrealistic demands, whether for constant excitement, material wealth, or unchanging perfection, can create unnecessary dissatisfaction in a marriage. A Stoic couple does not expect their relationship to be free of difficulties, or their partner to fulfill every emotional need. Instead, they accept life as it is, embracing both the joys and the struggles with equanimity. They do not seek excess in pleasure, nor do they dread hardship. They navigate both with balance, knowing that true happiness is found in contentment rather than in endless pursuit. Another area where self-growth and moderation manifest is in the management of resources. Financial stability is often a source of tension in relationships, but a Stoic couple exercises prudence in their approach to money and possessions. They do not indulge in reckless spending or become consumed by materialism, nor do they live in constant fear of financial hardship. Instead, they make thoughtful decisions, ensuring that their resources serve a purpose without becoming an obsession. They recognize that true wealth lies not in accumulation, but in the ability to live within one's means and to appreciate what one already has. Even in expressions of love and affection, moderation plays a key role. While passion is a natural and beautiful part of marriage, a Stoic approach ensures that it does not become an all-consuming force that blinds one to reason. Love that is guided by moderation is one that remains steady, unaffected by external fluctuations. It is not subject to the highs and lows of momentary emotions, but is built on a deep and enduring commitment. It does not demand constant validation or grand gestures to prove its worth, but is demonstrated through consistent, thoughtful actions. Ultimately, self-control and moderation create a marriage that is resilient, balanced, and deeply fulfilling. They allow both partners to navigate life's uncertainties without being controlled by fear or desire. They foster a relationship where trust is not threatened by impulsive actions, where communication is measured and thoughtful, and where love is steady rather than volatile. In mastering themselves, the couple masters their relationship, ensuring that it is not dictated by external forces, but guided by wisdom, integrity, and mutual respect. Acceptance of imperfection is a fundamental principle in a Stoic marriage, fostering patience, understanding, and resilience. No individual is flawless, and no relationship is without its struggles. In a world where perfection is often idealized, it is easy to fall into the trap of expecting too much from oneself, a partner, or the relationship itself. However, Stoicism teaches that imperfection is not something to be resented or resisted. It is an inherent part of the human experience. By embracing this truth, couples can cultivate a marriage that is not only enduring, but also deeply fulfilling. One of the most liberating realizations in any relationship is that both partners are works in progress. No one is born wise, patient, or immune to mistakes. Everyone carries flaws, insecurities, and past experiences that shape their behavior. A Stoic couple understands that perfection is an illusion, and rather than seeking an unattainable ideal, they focus on growth. They do not demand flawlessness from their partner or from themselves, but instead they strive to improve, recognizing that true progress comes from continuous learning and self-awareness. This mindset removes the pressure to always get things right and replaces it with a commitment to steady improvement. In marriage, there will inevitably be moments of frustration. A partner may say the wrong thing, act out of impulse, or fail to meet expectations. If perfection were the standard, every mistake would be seen as a failure, leading to disappointment and resentment. However, when imperfection is accepted as natural, these moments are not viewed as betrayals, but as opportunities to practice patience and understanding. Instead of reacting with anger or criticism, a Stoic partner responds with composure, knowing that imperfection does not negate love or commitment. They do not dwell on faults, but rather seek to understand them, offering compassion rather than condemnation. Self-acceptance is also an essential aspect of embracing imperfection. Just as a partner will have flaws, so too will an individual. No one can always be strong, wise, or composed. There will be days of doubt, moments of weakness, and times of failure. A Stoic mindset encourages individuals to acknowledge their own shortcomings without self-loathing. Rather than being consumed by guilt or frustration, they recognize that imperfection is part of being human. They take responsibility for their actions, but do not let past mistakes define them. Instead, they use each misstep as an opportunity to grow, knowing that true character is not measured by perfection, but by the ability to improve and persist. A marriage built on the acceptance of imperfection is one that fosters deep trust and security. When both partners know that they are allowed to be human, that they do not have to meet an impossible standard to be loved, they feel safe. They do not have to hide their flaws or fear judgment, which allows for true vulnerability. This creates an environment where both individuals can be honest about their struggles, knowing that their worth is not diminished by their weaknesses. In such a marriage, love is not conditional upon meeting unrealistic expectations, but is instead rooted in a genuine appreciation for the whole person, flaws and all. Imperfection also extends to the relationship itself. No marriage is without challenges, and expecting otherwise leads to unnecessary frustration. A Stoic couple does not believe in the idea of a perfect relationship where conflict never arises, where emotions never fluctuate, or where difficulties never occur. Instead, they accept that disagreements will happen, that external hardships will test their bond, and that there will be periods of struggle. However, rather than seeing these moments as signs of failure, they view them as part of the natural rhythm of a shared life. They do not panic when things are difficult, nor do they assume that imperfection means the relationship is broken. Instead, they navigate these struggles with patience and wisdom, knowing that a strong marriage is not one without problems, but one that endures despite them. A key part of accepting imperfection is learning to let go of unrealistic expectations. Many conflicts in marriage arise not from true incompatibility, but from the disappointment of unmet ideals. A Stoic couple understands that no partner can be everything to another person, that no marriage will be free of hardship, and that love is not about finding someone without flaws, but about choosing to love despite them. They release the need for control, understanding that no amount of effort will make life unfold exactly as planned. Instead, They adapt to reality, embracing what is rather than longing for what should be. Forgiveness also plays a central role in accepting imperfection. Holding on to resentment for past mistakes only serves to create division and pain. A Stoic partner understands that mistakes are inevitable and that clinging to anger only harms the one who carries it. They choose to forgive, not because wrongdoing does not matter, but because they value peace over prolonged suffering. They understand that to err is human, and they extend the same grace to their partner that they hope to receive in return. By accepting imperfection, a marriage becomes a place of freedom rather than pressure. There is no constant need to prove worth, no unrealistic pursuit of flawlessness, and no resentment when reality does not align with expectations. Instead, there is patience, understanding, and a shared commitment to growing together. This creates a relationship that is not fragile but strong, one that is not dependent on fleeting perfection, but built on enduring virtue and wisdom. In the end, a strong marriage is not built on the pursuit of perfection, but on the acceptance of imperfection. It is not about finding a flawless partner or creating a life free of challenges, but about embracing each other's strengths and weaknesses with patience, understanding, and love. When both individuals commit to growth rather than unattainable ideals, they create a bond that is not easily shaken by hardship or disappointment. True harmony in a relationship comes not from avoiding flaws, but from learning to navigate them with wisdom and grace. In accepting imperfection, a couple finds something far greater than perfection itself. They find resilience, authenticity, and a love that endures through all of life's trials.